Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming. So in this video we're going to have another PSA returns, and for those of you who are patrons that have access to this video early, welcome. If you see anything in here, it's probably for sale because almost the entire video is this new stuff, or relatively new stuff. You got XY Fates Collide. Many of you may not have even been in the game when XY Fates Collide came out. I forget that the XY series, it's actually 2 generations out now, because you've got, this is generation 6, and you have Sun and Moon, which is 7, and then now we have Sword and Shield coming out, which I'm not even sure if that's the generational name. But this PSA return did much better than the last one, and it should. You've got all of these new cards, and I think the majority of cards who did not get 10 were off-center. You can see this Guzma is off-center. It's got that thinner side on the top and the right side, and then of course not on the bottom. Also, those of you who have been asking about BGS grading, well, I tell you, it's yeah, I've been surprised at how many people want me to BGS grade. I know this Eevee is not going to be for sale. I don't think I have a 10 in my collection. I believe it's a 9. So probably not that one. There may be a handful of shiny cards from Hidden Fates. It's like the only thing I collect right now from the new stuff. But I've been really overwhelmed with how many people have wanted to go through me for Beckett. So I've only submitted once to them. I'm not that familiar with the entire process. Like with PSA, I've been doing it for years and years and years. So I have a really well-rounded idea of what is going on, what to expect, how I can charge you guys. With Beckett, I'm nowhere near that point. But if I could tweak it some and mark it up, I may offer the Beckett services out very soon, as the same that I do with PSA. I would think that to cover myself, I have to mark it up an additional amount, just because there's going to be more risk, I think, because I'm not as familiar with what's going on. I will tell you, the turnaround times was great. I paid a lot for it. It wasn't like, what do I charge, $13 a card or something like that for the lowest level, if you don't have Patreon discounts or anything like that. With Beckett, if you don't want any of the subgrades and non-guaranteed, from what I heard, it could take like 8 months plus. And then it's still even more expensive, than their base rate's more expensive than PSA's base rate, so that wouldn't be even including, kind of what my markup was. I think I paid roughly $40 a card, and I fully insured everything. That was after everything that I put into it. It was a pretty fast turnaround though. So I think that Beckett may be a better option for a quick turnaround time, like with PSA. If you want to, I think the Express is 8 days. There was an Express, it took 8 days just to enter into the system. Where with Beckett, from what I understand, if you get a 5 or 10 day service, they start counting those days the day it gets there. The day that it arrives, the tracking shows delivery. At least that's what Renee told me there. She was great. Everything went perfect, smooth. Had the stuff back in my hands within about 2 weeks, and that was including shipping time. So, we may go that route. If people want to use Beckett and I get enough people stirring up interest to where I can, make a little bit of money off of doing it, and for the time that I have to put in, because it is pretty time consuming if you've ever submitted something to PSA. Beckett's going to be a little bit harder because I can't do it online. I actually have to fill out the forms after that I find online manually, and then I have to upload it back. I have to call them, then they charge me. It's a little bit more frustrating process in that sense, but with the quick turnaround time and the great customer service response time, it's a plus on that end. So I'm going to think about it. You guys, if you're highly interested, maybe send me a message, send me an email. My email is always down there in the description, and I'll check that. I'll put you on a list, for people who are wanting to submit to Beckett, because they do offer services, grading services for cards that PSA no longer grades, like a lot of the FPO cards, the inverted errors, no damage Ninetales. Now I was told that Beckett was actually rejecting FPOs for a little bit there, so I wouldn't even know how that would work out if they decided to not grade those. But I didn't have any issues. You guys saw that I sent all of those stuff in, the match prints, everything. There was all kinds of random errors and test cards in there. it was a wide variety, and they didn't reject any of it. So that was nice, and the way they did the labels was really cool too. Plus, they do have a certification system, so you can see all that stuff in their system. I think I'll put Solgaleo there before Salazzle. But we do have a lot of PSA cards here. Most of these 9s, I probably won't sell them. Most of the 10s I will sell. I'll put those up on my eBay. And if you're wondering about price range, almost every card I would think in this video, if they're PSA 10, the cheapest I would sell it for is on eBay is probably $29.99, maybe $24.99, depending on how unpopular it is. Some of them you can find for around the $20 mark, maybe even less. To me, a gem at 10, I would think it should at least command $25, $30, no matter what the card is. Especially if it's a holo or some kind of ultra rare from the set. I think breaks typically go for about $30. And then on the higher end of stuff, the hyper rares are a little bit more expensive, but that Ampharos GX is probably about a $50 card or so, maybe even less. That Charizard might be a $50 card. Since it's from the 10s, so promos are going to be more common, for the non-graded card a lot of times, because you're guaranteed to get it from a 10. However, a lot of these are damaged up top or on the bottom because of the way they're put into the window 10s. And this is the XY29 actually come from one of the window 10s. So the Gem Int 10 grade is going to be a little bit tougher to grade, or tougher to get. Usually it's going to be a little bit tougher to get. So this one may actually be on a little bit higher scale for rarity and the pop, and it may be a $60, $80 card. I could be wrong. It might just be a $39.99 Charizard. I don't really know for sure right off the top of my head, because the prices do fluctuate quite a bit with these new cards. A lot of times it's a race, and then if there is something that's truly harder to get in a particular Gem Mint 10 grade, then those cards will start to stick out. Like the old Ancient Origins, the very first print run of this stuff, Gem Mint 10 was tough. Like, it was not an easy grade. This one was actually a second print run. You can tell by the way it was printed. This one, the centering is off a little bit, so I probably I wouldn't have been surprised to get if that would have got a 9. But it looks like the front is centered very well. In fact, let me put that one back there. We got Scissor for Breakpoint. Gyarados is a nice one. Got old Tag Team Champ, and then there's a 10. I'll move through these a little bit quicker. We're just barely cracking a quarter of the way through the video. And I'll tell you what, these longer videos, they are really, really tough on my internet and upload speed, and it just takes so long. But I'm this close. I'm this close to paying Charter to come out here and bring me their 60 megabyte per second internet, which to some of y'all that may sound slow, but it's 6 times faster than what I currently have. Actually, it's 60 times faster. My service is supposed to be 10 megabytes per second, but I get 1. Like, that's what I have for upload. Normally, one of these 10-minute videos, even after Loot kind of showed me some ways to tweak it and make the video files smaller. It still takes about an hour to upload, and if I put it on the same internet as my home, which is CenturyLink, then it'll shut down everything else. Nobody can watch Netflix or anything like that. And since my wife, she works for me in the morning a little bit, and after that she's a stay-at-home mom. TV's kind of something that you want to have going at least sometime during the day. So I try not to shut that down. Usually I run my internet off of my phone, which where I'm at gets about 2 megabytes per second. On the upload, I think it's about 10 and 2. 10 download, 2 on the upload, which is pretty slow. So if Crimson Glory, if you are watching this, I will say that I have been surprised by you. If any of you are trying to remember where that YouTube username might be coming from, it was a few videos back. A guy commented, I think it was the one about Jeff. He was like the very first comment. It was talking about how I was a scumbag or something, where I'd scammed someone out, and I was replying back to him. Where's this at? What are you talking about? I couldn't find anything, and he went on and on about different stuff. And there was some of you who actually commented on as well, coming to my rescue. Thank you guys. And I I saw his comments have still been kind of coming up in one of the more recent videos. He commented something, and I was like, I'm surprised you're still around. I think he was asking about PSA and BGS and what's better and some other grading companies. And he responded back and basically said he had his facts wrong and he apologized. It really surprised me. Most of the time, when you see someone commenting about you being a scam artist or doing something like that, usually they're just trolls looking for attention. But maybe he actually had some kind of genuine interest in what was going on, and he was trying to figure out if he was coming to the defense of someone who said they got scammed. But I guess he figured it out and saw that I didn't actually scam anybody. I don't even remember selling a 2K mystery box to anybody, so it's possible that I did. I think maybe Loot Box TV got one that was close to 2K for his birthday. Yeah, that might be the only person I can think of right off the top of my head that might have got one. And then it surprised me. I just wasn't expecting that. So if you're still watching this, you come out of left field and then put you back into right field. Also, man, talk about people who were just like calling me a scammer. I had someone on eBay. They saw my shiny Milotic, which I'll be honest, it is overpriced at the moment. But I had priced it back. When I list stuff, usually I list it either at a price that I want to sell it at, or if it's something newer. When I mean newer, I mean Generation 3 or better, unless it's like a PSA 10 Gold Star that I really want to keep. I usually list it pretty competitive. So I may have listed that 6 months ago when the price was competitive, but now it's a little bit, it's high. It's probably about twice what some of the others are. It's at like $89.99. But he come off in this very first message saying that I'm a scammer and I need to sell it for this price. And you know what? I didn't even want to respond to it, but I said Merry Christmas. And then he come back with another message like, yeah, Merry Christmas to you. You gonna send me the card now? And then he sent me another message after that because I didn't respond. I was gonna let it go. Then he was saying again that I was being a scammer and I needed to sell it to him right then. And I just responded back. I was like, man, I'm not a scammer. It's the exact item for the exact price that I've listed. From your messages, I really don't want to do a transaction with you. Please don't send me any more messages. And man, he kind of flew off and saying I was a 100% scammer because of the way I responded. Confirmed that since I wouldn't sell to him because anyone would sell to him at the price that he offered, which was like a third of the price that I was asking or something. Something, super low. I wasn't going to take it. So after that, I just stopped responding to them altogether. But this time of year, I get people who come in all the time. So let's take this card for example. We got a Pikachu and Zekrom GX. Say to me, I don't really want to sell it, but if there was an I don't want to sell it price, I put it at say $60. There's another one on eBay for $45. Should I be able to sell this for $59.99? Yes, I have every right to list this card for $60. And if somebody doesn't want to buy it, then it won't sell. If somebody really wants a PSA 10 Pikachu and Zekrom GX, then they're probably going to go buy it from the other guy who has it for $45. And I just lose out on the sale. However, it's up to me if how I want to price something because it's my card. If it doesn't sell, then I'll just be paying those fees. However, it could be that someone wants to buy it specifically from me because they may trust me, and $15 extra knowing that they'll get the card would be something that they would pay. And then, we're both happy in the end. Or they may want to pay that little bit of premium because it has a different style PSA case on it, or my shipping's different, or international shipping costs may be more reasonable than someone else. There's a whole different bunch of reasons why someone may still buy this even if I have it priced higher. And it may also be that I'm speculating. To me it's worth $60. I think that next year this time, since Team Up has been out of print for so long, people are going to want their Pikachu and Zekrom GXs, so I'm going to sell them for $60 now, because even though it's only $45 now, maybe sometime in the future it'll be worth $60, and I'll gather watchers until then. And then when all the other ones sell out at $45 and at $50 and $55, then I'll have the option to send an offer out to people who started watching this in the very beginning. Man, this is a string of Geomet 10s. What is that, like 5 in a row, 6 in a row? There's another one. They did really good. And this is just an example. I don't even know how much Pikachu and Zekrom GX is worth, but 10 is probably worth in the $40, $50 range. It was in one of the World Championship decks, which have been selling fantastic. I don't know if any of you guys picked those up. If you watched my Patreon, then you invested in those before they went out of print. There's so much going on for the World Championship decks this year. Let's get a different card in the background. They've got popular Pokemon and playable Pokemon. You got the Dedines, you got tons of those. You've got the Reshiram and Charizard GX in them. You got Mewtwo and Mew GX, Raichu and Alolan Raichu, Naganadel, Heatran, got the Latios, Espeon and Deoxys GX, got Zeraora, Solgaleo. You have all these cards that are just super popular and playable. And like the Dedenne and the Reshiram and Charizard, I mean, they're going to be playable for a while. Whew, we are getting close to being through with the video. We still have one more row to go. You can probably tell I'm not used to talking that much. I can feel my throat wanting some water. Got Gengar and Mimikyu. Team Up was such a good set. It didn't have the Reshiram and Charizard in it, but it had so much else going on for it. I think the selection of Pokemon was excellent. It was a good transition. Team Up had the very first tag teams, if you're not aware. You had cards like this, Eevee and Snorlax. Cards like Pikachu and Zekrom, Gengar and Mimikyu. You had Latios and Latias. You had the Celebi and Venusaur. I mean, there was just so many good cards in the set that appealed to a lot of the original collectors. It satisfied a need for a new mechanic on the players, as well as, the kids in the game who just want that big HP. I saw where those jumbo, what is it, the Entei, Raikou, and Suicune, those finally went up. Definitely saw that coming. Was it the Zoroark and legendary Pokemon with that huge HP and attack? Was that like a $50 jumbo? Or I don't even know, maybe more than that now. Maybe it's come down, I doubt it's come down much, but kids just ate that card up, dude. And it was only because it had such high HP and had that crazy attack. There we go, we're getting to some full arts. 2 more stacks to go. This will probably be my favorite part right here. Looks like we got one of these. I much prefer this artwork. I just like the way that there's contrast between the Magikarp and the background. Whereas with this one, it's just a little bit. It's mostly the blue Wailord. Hoopa! That one got a 10. A lot of these cards, there's not a huge margin on them for being graded. If you think about the time that you have to put in for them. But a lot of these cards I get in collections, and when you have a full art that you can buy on eBay for $4 and somebody sells it to you for $2, then you put the money in for grading and it comes back at 10. I mean, you're going to more than, make your money back for the time that you put into it. But a lot of times when it's 9s and 8s and something lower, like this with a 9 on the Brock's grid, I mean, this is a card that would be really, really tough to sell individually. There's the 10. 9 on Lana. 9 on the Erica's Hospitality. Looks like Jasmine got a 10. Random 9, Mr. Rhyme. We got the Morgan. You know what, maybe we'll do a Q&A soon. It's been a while since I've sent out a request for one of those. I just kind of mentioned it in a video a while back. I never really made a video specifically asking for questions and answers. I think S.M. Pratt did one recently where he was asking for people to send him Q&A. But there's a lot of questions you guys asked me, and I probably answered most of them. But if I missed your comment or your email or something like that, maybe we can do something like that. Just do a video. Maybe I'll be showing some Pokemon cards, one of my purchase videos or something, and just see if you guys want to ask some questions, and then I'll answer them. I just print out the comments. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Lots of new stuff here. If you're looking for anything for a particular set, you know, the newer sets are really affordable compared to the old sets, especially in Gem Mint 10 condition. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out. Thank you guys so much.